Okay, let's just jump right into it. What if some of the biggest, most shocking scandals of our time, what if they aren't just random events? What if they're actually following the same playbook? Let's dive in and see.
All right, think about this for a second. The world of big pharma and the criminal network of Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, on the surface, they seem like they're from completely different universes, right? But what if there's a hidden connection? In this explainer, we're going to neutrally unpack the arguments from our source material that claim these two seemingly separate stories are actually deeply, deeply intertwined.
The sources we've looked at allege that they share a common blueprint, a blueprint for maintaining elite power and control. So what does this alleged blueprint for control actually look like? Let's unpack this pretty provocative claim.
Okay, first things first, we need to define what our sources even mean by a blueprint. Because, it's not just about a single action here or there. It's about a whole repeatable system.
So here's the definition we're working with. The blueprint of control is this alleged set of strategies that powerful networks use to get inside institutions, to silence anyone who speaks out, and to make sure key people fall in line. And according to this analysis, the whole point isn't just about gaining power. It's about making that power completely unaccountable. Shielding it from any kind of public scrutiny.
Now, to really get a grip on the argument about the pharmaceutical industry, our source material says we have to go back, way back to its origins, which, let me tell you, are way more controversial than you might think.
So, an epidemiologist named Dr. Dick Bill, he traces the industry's roots directly back to this pretty dark history. He points out that these old chemical dye companies, like Bayer, they all merged to form this massive conglomerate called IG Farben. And this company, well, it became infamous for collaborating with the Nazi regime. They even produced Zyklon B for the concentration camps. Now, here's the part that's really crucial. After the war, these same companies, they just kept going. They were tried, got light sentences, and then just went right back to business.
And that's why this quote is so important. The interviewer is basically saying, hold on, this isn't just your opinion, right? These are facts. And that's the point the source is making. This isn't some wild conspiracy theory. It's documented history. And it allegedly set the precedent, the very foundation for how this industry would operate for decades to come.
Okay, so with that history in mind, let's get to the core of the blueprint. We're going to look at how this all builds into two very distinct, yet, according to the sources, eerily similar methods of control.
So check this out. We've got two different methods on the table. First, there's pharma's alleged method, infiltration. That works from the inside out. You place your people into the regulatory bodies to control everything. Then you have Epstein's method, compromise. This one works from the outside in. You use blackmail and illicit acts to get leverage over people already in power. Two totally different tactics, but according to our sources, they both achieve the exact same goal, total control.
And Dr. Bijal argues this isn't just theoretical. It has huge real-world consequences. He claims that when his own group of independent experts offered to help regulatory bodies, they were basically told, no thanks. And get this, he also points to 2009, the year the WHO changed the very definition of a pandemic. The allegation is that this was due to industry pressure, which, just like that, created a massive new market for their drugs.
Now let's look at the other side of this blueprint. The analysis from one of our sources, Die Neue Welt, suggests that Epstein's infamous parties, they weren't just parties. They were a mechanism. Think about it. By getting powerful people to participate in these awful illicit acts, you create this bond of shared guilt. It's described as being just like the mafia's blood bond, where everyone is compromised. And once you're in, no one can ever speak out.
So you see where this is going, right? Whether it's through infiltration from the inside or compromise from the outside, our sources argue that both of these blueprints have led to the exact same place, a massive, profound crisis of trust in our most important institutions.
And the stakes? Well, they are incredibly high. Dr. Bijal cites a really controversial claim that medicines have become the third leading cause of death in the Western world, right after heart disease and cancer. I mean, that is a shocking statistic. And whether you fully believe it or not, it helps explain why public skepticism has become so intense.
And you can see the fallout from this distrust pretty much everywhere. I mean, just look at public health. We see falling rates for routine childhood vaccinations. Then you look at government and politics, and you see the rise of populist movements that are literally fueled by this feeling that the entire system is rigged. And finally, in our institutions themselves, there's just this deep, widespread cynicism toward experts in the media.
So, okay, these alleged systems are being dragged out into the light, right? They're being exposed. So the big question is, what happens next?
What do our sources say is the big takeaway here? Where do we possibly go from here?
And this is a really fascinating point. According to Deniwa World, the release of the Epstein Files isn't really important because of any one specific name on the list. The real significance is that it confirmed a deep suspicion that a huge portion of the public already had. It basically took what was often dismissed as a fringe conspiracy theory and rocketed it right into the mainstream. This idea that our institutions are deeply, fundamentally compromised.
And that really is the huge provocative question our sources leave us with. Now that this alleged blueprint for control is being laid bare for everyone to see, can trust in these foundational institutions ever truly be restored? I mean, is the damage permanent? And if it is, what could possibly rise from the ashes?